Okay, fight fans, home of the Rio Grande Valley 956. We are here with ring announcer, professional boxing commentator, Christian Schmidt. How are we feeling today?
Feeling great, man. Thanks for having me. I've been a big fan of the South Texas Boxing News, so to be here, I'm in a great mood. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Before we start talking a little bit about tomorrow's event, sir, how did you get involved in becoming an announcer?
Well, years and years ago, when I lived in San Antonio, where I'm born and raised, I used to be I used to host a TV show, and I one time interviewed the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, former WWF champion.
Wow.
And several people in the area that were wrestling fans saw that, and even some of the local wrestlers. And I got in with a local promoter. He brought me in on this show. I did independent wrestling shows where I announced for years and years and years while I was writing for FightNews.com, pro boxing website. And then I finally got my opportunity, my big break. It was hard to get. It was hard to get because you have a lot of good people to compete with, especially in Texas. Back in 2013, got my big break, and then I've done the most with it as I could. So.
You used to write for FightNews.com?
It was years ago.
They were one of the first platforms I remember with CompuServe, if I'm not mistaken, FightNews.com,
Yeah.
right? That's where I would get all my information
Yep.
from. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing, sir. Just talk about Fight News. I mean, that was just an amazing platform at the time.
Well, what was so interesting was my first ever gig, and it was a voluntary, position. My first ever gig, the assignment that I got was to interview Oscar De La Hoya.
Wow.
The first pro boxer I get to interview, the most famous boxer in the world, in San Antonio. He was having a Golden Boy event. It was when Golden Boy was very young. Jesse James Leal was headlining. It was in May of '03, and so just talking to Oscar, it was like very intimidating for me. I was in my kind of mid-20s at the time. I was just like, whoa, it's Oscar De La Hoya. So that was my first one, and then after that, I got to interview legends like Manny Pacquiao, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Jesse James Leal, Jesus Chavez, Orlando Carizal. I mean, a lot of those big names. So it was a lot of fun to just have their attention for a brief time because I was, and I still am a major boxing fan.
Yes, sir. Who's your favorite fighter right now?
Out of all the current boxers, well, I'm kind of a good question, but I'm kind of partial to the guys in South Texas. I have so many, but the way I like to answer this question is outside of my realm and the people that I work with. That is a current boxer that I'm not like connected with any emotional. It's got to be Alexander Usyk because the way he beat Tyson Fury was the most masterful heavyweight performance I've ever seen in my life. And then to know what's going on in his country of Ukraine and all the fighting and all that sadness, and to know that there was some joy after he beat Tyson Fury. And he conducts himself with dignity and class, and I think he's a good role model for the youth. And so, I mean, I don't have any connection or ever spoke to him, but I mean, it would have to be Alexander Usyk just because of those reasons. But I have so many in the past, and I'm going to have so many more in the future.
Gotcha, sir. You've worked as a ring announcer for Pound Promotions, AAA Promotions, Marines Promotions, Marines, and Juarez Roller Promotions. Just talk about being around all these promoters and all these talented fighters, man.
Well, it's a privilege because I just get to be the messenger at all of these grandiose events. And being a fan for all this time, it really paid off because I studied the way presentations were made or commentators helped tell the story. That's where I learned how to do it. And to be in the action, to be in the ring is a dream come true of mine. It's definitely my passion. And I look to continue to grow. And now I'm going to be commentating for TV Azteca, Texas. It's going to be tomorrow night. Coming to you live from Hidalgo Arena. To watch that for free. It's just a privilege for me to be around all these hardworking guys. I have so much respect for the fighters, the trainers, the cutmen, the promoters. A lot of people don't see what goes on behind the scenes, but the unbelievable effort they have to put to get focused inside the kitchen, inside the gym, inside the ring, on the road. It's just like, I mean, you just don't know. You just don't know. So for me to pick up on that, you know, I look up to these guys, both past and present, and I look to continue to, and I can't wait to do it some more.
Yes, sir. A lot of people do not know this. I mean, the people that follow you, you take your craft very seriously. Saturday mornings before the fight, you're there announcing. Just talk about that preparation before the big night.
Well, the night before, what I like to do is just sip on hot tea and honey to prepare my vocals, and then I like to go over my notes, and I look to add information, or I'll sit in the lobby, you know, and I'll meet somebody and say, hey, you know, how do you want me to say this? Do you have a nickname, or where are you from, or how do you pronounce your hometown? And then I will walk around the hotels late at night, just repeating the names, just preparing myself to look as natural and as fluid as possible when I'm actually presenting the next night. That morning, wake up, I have a light breakfast, nothing too heavy that will bog me down. I continue to go over my notes. I'll talk to anybody else involved with the actual event. I got to be hardcore and ready to go. When I have my notes in the actual ring, I don't like to look down at them. I like to just say, you know, fighting out of the blue corner with the black belt, the white trim, weighing in 147 pounds from, you know, San Antonio, Texas, blah, blah, blah. You know, I mean, I just like to have it flow off my tongue rather than look like I'm reading, so it looks more natural and more attractive to the audience.
Yes, sir. Awesome. Great. That's a great story. Omar Juarez, Sebastian, they're in the co-in the main event. It's a stacked card. Talk about the card tomorrow. What can the fight fans expect tomorrow night?
Well, I'm calling the Juarez brothers the brothers of the future because they're both so tremendously talented. Their father, Rudy, has done a great job bringing them up. And, you know, Rudy, like Rolo, putting this card together. You can see the enthusiasm that we had here at the bar here in Brownsville. Can't wait to see the enthusiasm tomorrow at Hidalgo Arena in Hidalgo, Texas. Tomorrow, Sebastian, he is 5-0. He's going to be fighting a fighter with more than 4 times the experience that he has. Okay? I mean, his opponent tomorrow night, he's got 31 fights. But Sebastian has been training with famed trainer Bob Santos. He's not just a trainer, he is a trainer that you see on the highest level where you're watching DAZN and BBC and ESPN Plus pay-per-views. You will see Bob Santos in the corner of these high-level fighters, so he obviously knows what he's doing. So to know that he's had his first complete camp under Bob Santos, I think that Omar's coming for some blood, but he is going to be fighting a veteran. The veteran understands that him getting a victory against the younger Sebastian is going to be huge for his resume. So you got to see this fight. Now in the main event, it is going to be Omar Willampago Juarez with a very impressive record of, I believe, 15-2. He's only lost 2 fights because of majority decision, and those were disputable losses.
Very disputable.
Taking on Jesus El Niño de Oro Maldonado from Laredo, Texas, with a record of, I think, 8-10. I know Jesus very well. I've announced his fights in the past. Now, Jesus has no problem going into other fighters' backyards with the odds stacked against him and giving those fighters all they got. He gives no respect to the hometown fighter. He comes looking for blood. I mean, he's not even cautious. He just goes hardcore. He goes to get it from that fighter. I've seen him lose a majority decision to Sylvester Quinones. That was a really close fight. Quinones is trained by Robert Garcia, and he's undefeated. I saw him lose a majority decision to Samuel Gallofino Castañeda, also trained by Roberto Garcia. That was a really close fight. They were majority decisions, so he is no stranger to the ring. He will come into somebody's hometown, undefeated or not, whether or not he has this impressive record. He's not intimidated. So tomorrow, Omar's been at the highest level. Yes, we remember seeing him fight from Las Vegas on Showtime or out in California or other places or wherever. Tremendously talented. It's going to be a better fight than people think it's going to be.
Yes,
both of
I
those
agree.
Fights, they're must-watch fights, and you can see them for free tomorrow night, starting at 5 p.m. on TV Azteca, Texas. That can be found on Facebook, YouTube, also in the channel itself, as well on the Facebook page. So you can see this grandiose event for free, but it's better to be there at Hidalgo Arena, live in person, of course. But if you can't be there, we want you to watch us.
Yes, sir. Before I let you go, sir, any shout outs you want to give to anybody? And can you give your famous ending with your video?
Well, I just want to give a shout out to my parents. my mom and my father Edward, my mother Arlis, my beautiful wife Rocio, my adorable children Jack and Kaylee, and also Saulito. I love all of you, and you asked it, so I'll be happy to give it. So before it's time to go, tomorrow night, live on TV Azteca, Texas, it'll be time for the action in the main attraction. So RGV, South Texas Boxing News. Tell everybody in the city, tell everybody in the town that it's about to go